I've always been a big kid, and I live at the house that we sometimes rent called the Ever After Estate, and I lived there before we ever thought of renting it. I lived there for 8 or 9 years before we ever rented it, but I was vacationing so much because I also have a big passion for world travel and I want to see the whole planet. And sometimes we'd be gone the whole summer. And in my travels, I had sometimes rented homes, so I always thought, our home is pretty cool, we can rent it out too. And around 2009, I just started to rent it out when we vacationed. And it was really cool to see how people enjoyed it and how they used it and how they saw it through different sets of eyes than how we did. And so many people wanted to rent it, I couldn't keep up with it, so because I lived there. So then I created a second house. I remodeled a home about 15 minutes away into what we call the Sweet Escape, the candy-themed home, so that I could deal with all the people that wanted to rent. And then that one became so popular. And we'd always talked about building one from scratch, and I always thought a game-themed house would be cool. And for a year, me and the wife and kids would toss around ideas like, oh, what about an operation room where you have to use giant tongs and remove the towels from the bathroom cubbies? And we would write down all these ideas on our iPhone notepads. And as my kids were becoming teens, I wanted them to see that you could take an idea and actually transform that dream from concept into reality. And we had to overcome quite a few obstacles that I'm glad they saw to get this accomplished. And then we did it one year as a family project, and we made what to me was like my dream home, like the perfect home where I love every room, and this is my favorite of the three.
I love it. I love it. And you can tell that you put a lot of love into it. It's a because I mean, down to the detail. I mean, even the ceiling is full of leaves. It's just like, well, duh, that just makes sense.
All of that is also kind of added last minute. Like, I wish we could plan it all, but sometimes you have to get into a room and then realize, oh, it needs leaves on the ceiling, it needs this, and it's just an ongoing process. And I like to get it done fast, so we cram this all into about 8 or 9 months.
The whole house?
From the minute we broke ground until we opened up for business was under 8 months.
Wow.
With every detail, every mural. So I was here day and night. I was staying up all night with a computer here, just looking around, saying what goes in that corner.
That's kind of like the artist's brain is once you start,
you can't stop. That's the only bad part of it. I just can't stop thinking of new ideas until every corner of it is crammed with something.
All right.